The wise Stoic philosopher Epictetus once shared that the secret lies in surrounding yourself only with those who elevate you, whose presence brings out the best in you. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Today, we'll explore this concept through the lens of Stoic philosophy. We'll discuss 7 types of people who can derail your progress and how to handle these challenging relationships. Before we dive in, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like this video to help me continue spreading Stoic wisdom. If you're not subscribed yet, I recommend doing so and enabling the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming content. Type of people number 1, the complainer. We all know that one friend, family member, or coworker who always finds something to criticize, whether it's the weather, their job, or even the food at a popular restaurant. They seem to be perpetually dissatisfied. You might wonder why this is a concern. After all, it's easy to ignore them, right? However, that's often easier said than done. Constant exposure to negativity can wear down your mental energy, like a leaky faucet draining your emotional reserves. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions rather than dwelling on problems. For instance, imagine you're working on a project with someone who constantly complains. Each meeting becomes a tiring session of grievances with no constructive ideas. This drains the team's morale and diverts attention from solving the real issues. So, how does Stoicism guide us to deal with a chronic complainer? There are a few strategies you can use. First, minimize your time with this individual whenever possible. If you must interact with them, especially if they're a colleague or family member, mentally detach yourself during their rants. Picture their complaints as a passing storm, noisy and uncomfortable, but ultimately powerless against your calm. Alternatively, steer the conversation toward solutions or change the subject to something more positive. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This timeless Stoic advice reminds us to protect our mental peace, ensuring that chronic complainers don't lead us off our path of resilience and virtue. Type of people number 2, the drama magnet. Imagine you're navigating through life like a ship on calm waters, but then you encounter the whirlpool of the drama magnet. This person seems to be perpetually surrounded by chaos, conflicts, or crises, and they have an uncanny ability to draw you into their vortex. Initially, you might be attracted to their energy, mistaking it for excitement or passion. However, you'll quickly realize that being in their orbit is like sailing through a storm, exhausting and potentially dangerous. What makes drama magnets so difficult is how their crises start to feel like your own. Their chaos becomes contagious, and you might find yourself pulled into arguments or conflicts you had no part in. For example, imagine you have a friend who regularly falls out with others in your social circle. One day, they're upset with Sarah, and the next, it's Tom. You try to offer advice, but before you know it, you're at odds with Sarah or Tom. 2. One useful technique is reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or taking sides, mirror their words back to them. If they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you can respond, "So you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words?" This allows you to show empathy without getting pulled into their drama. Another strategy, which may seem counterintuitive, is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism reminds us to protect our time, and sometimes that means not engaging in other people's recurring crises. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. Instead of worrying about what drama will unfold next, focus on the present moment and cultivate your own inner peace. Type of people number 3, the naysayer. Picture yourself as an artist painting a canvas. Each stroke adds life and depth to your creation. Now, enter the naysayer. They walk into your studio, take one look at your work, and immediately start to criticize. "Are you sure about that color? It doesn't look realistic. Most artists never make it," they say. Their words, like strokes of gray, start to dull your vibrant canvas. Unlike constructive criticism, this type of negativity is persistent, sowing doubt and insecurity. Let's say you're excited about switching careers. You've done the research, talked to experts, and maybe even started a course. When you share your enthusiasm with the naysayer, they quickly list all the reasons it won't work. The market's too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail? Eventually, their doubts start to infiltrate your mind, and the confident vision you had begins to wobble. How do you handle a naysayer, especially when there's someone close to you? One method is to ask them for advice rather than just sharing your plans. People are less likely to outright dismiss your ideas if they feel they're in an advisory role. Another approach is positive confrontation. If they say, "You'll never make that career change," challenge them with, how do you think someone could successfully make a career change? This not only deflects their negativity, but invites a more constructive conversation. Remember the Stoic wisdom from Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean absorbing every piece of negativity. It means discerning what's useful. So, when the naysayer tries to cloud your canvas with doubt, step back. Listen, reflect, and continue painting your life with the vibrant colors that resonate with you. Type of people number 4, the victim. Imagine life as a game of chess, where each player has the same pieces and the same goal. Checkmate. You strategize, make sacrifices, and take risks. The victim, however, blames everything but their own choices, the board, the pieces, or the opponent, for every poor move they make. They feel stuck in a perpetual checkmate, not because of their decisions, but because of some external force working against them. Their story is one of constant woe, with them cast as the helpless protagonist. For example, a friend might blame their lack of career progress on their boss disliking them, or their inability to get fit on bad genetics. While some people do face legitimate struggles, the victim mentality refuses to take responsibility for actions or choices. You might find yourself getting pulled into their narrative, constantly offering solutions or sympathy, but eventually, this can subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mindset. What's the best way to handle a victim? Stoics would advise setting boundaries to protect your own mental state. Rather than trying to rescue them, practice compassionate detachment, show empathy, but don't feel obligated to fix their problems. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Don't get caught up in the victim's story. Take control of your own game, making strategic moves toward growth and wisdom. Type of people number 5, the toxic positivist. This is the person who's always telling you to just be happy during difficult times, brushing aside your real emotions with a wave of glittery optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. Yes, there are flowers, but there are also weeds and pests. The toxic positivist insists that you only focus on the flowers and ignore the rest. They dismiss any negativity, saying things like, just focus on the good, while invalidating your feelings. Suppose you're going through a tough breakup and feeling sad or confused. The toxic positivist might say, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Just smile and be happy. While their intention is often to uplift you, it can feel dismissive of your reality. So, how do you handle this? One approach is to engage them in a conversation that acknowledges both light and shadow. You could reply, I'm grateful for my health, but I also need to acknowledge that I feel upset about this specific issue, and that's okay. Another useful technique is emotional granularity, the ability to recognize and differentiate between a wide range of emotions. When the toxic positivist encourages you to only focus on happiness, take a moment to reflect on your nuanced feelings. Stoic wisdom encourages us to embrace life's complexity. As Seneca said, true happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, and to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. So, remember that life requires both sunshine and rain for your garden to thrive. Embrace all of your emotions and nurture them with the wisdom to find balance. Type of people number 6, the manipulator. Think of your life as a movie script. You're the lead character, and you have a vision for your story. Enter the manipulator, a subtle figure who quietly rewrites your narrative. They're skilled at using emotional tactics, flattery, guilt trips, or even deceit to steer you in a direction that benefits them. You might have a friend who constantly makes you feel obligated to cover the dinner bill, saying, you've been doing so well, it wouldn't mean much to you, but it would make my day. Over time, you realize you've been taken advantage of, but confronting them feels uncomfortable because they've framed it as a favor. To deal with manipulators, try using the technique of fogging, which involves agreeing with any small truth in their statements, but refusing to be moved by emotional coercion. For instance, if they say, you're so successful, you should pay for dinner, you could respond, yes, I've been doing well, but let's split the bill as usual. Another method is to set firm boundaries. If they ask for something you're not comfortable with, like money or favors, assertively say no while maintaining respect. Epictetus reminds us that we can't control external circumstances, but we can control how we respond to them. Type of people number 7, the time vampire. Imagine your daily routine as a finely tuned symphony, each instrument contributing to a harmonious whole. Enter the time vampire, screeching off key and throwing your melody into disarray. A time vampire might seem harmless at first, perhaps a colleague who constantly interrupts with trivial questions, or a friend who invites you to numerous social events you are not interested in. Though these moments may seem minor, Their cumulative effect can seriously disrupt your day. To protect your time, try methods like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused intervals while setting boundaries to avoid interruptions. If it's a social time vampire, remember that it's okay to say no. A simple, "I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it," is enough. Saying no isn't rejecting the person, it's affirming your own needs. Seneca wisely said, "Life, if well lived, is long enough." Our time is a precious resource, one that should be allocated wisely. As we wrap up today's discussion on the types of people who might derail our path to Stoic resilience, remember that self-awareness is crucial. It's easy to recognize these traits in others, but the true challenge lies in looking inward. Are you, perhaps unintentionally, playing one of these roles in someone else's life? Stoicism isn't just about navigating the world, it's also about improving ourselves. If today's insights sparked a reflection, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. Until next time, may your choices reflect your virtues, your actions reflect your wisdom, and may your life become the masterpiece you were meant to create.